So today I'm talking about Christian apologist William Lane Craig's book, On Guard. And tagline, Defending Your Faith with Reason and Precision, published in 2010. Has a 4.5 star rating on Amazon with 1,200 ratings. Forward by Lee Strobel. I think I'm going to do a series on it. In my own experience with Craig in 2006-ish, I gathered that Craig was the best Christian apologetic champion of reasons to believe in Christianity, and realized quite promptly, just with digging into his arguments, that most of his arguments were just frankly quite pushover arguments. I remember dawning on me, well, like, this is it. Like, okay, well, there's that. So that was a long time ago, 2006. I was 25. I'm 41 now. I'm interested in the book because I'm interested in the culture wars. I'm interested in providing anybody that is asking intellectual questions about religion and, Christianity's huge cultural influence. I want to reach out to those people. Like I was that guy. Like not every, like even in the book, Craig talks about how not everybody's asking these questions. He's only reaching out to a certain demographic of people who are interested in the intellectual pursuits of the clash of worldviews. And frankly, I'm upset that Christianity gets to muddy the waters of philosophy so much for people. That really just has no business doing. Like it just offers a whole bunch of bad answers to big philosophical questions. I mean, quite frankly, humanity doesn't really have a strong business asking, much less answering. We're just not in a position to deal with the questions. And to have religion offer so many precise answers, like it's aggravating. It's like that screws people up. Just the sheer lack of humility, like just in terms of metaphysics, understanding where reality came from. You don't really know. You just don't know ultimately what the context of the universe is. It's not obvious. Petty human brains are speculating. We're not converging on some amazing consensus, some solid answers on these questions. The best, physics and cosmologists are, speculating about dark matter and dark energy, and they're just sort of labeling a big mystery. Like, we don't really get this. We're trying, but it's really far-reaching. This is a really hard problem. And religion is just like jumping all in, like, 100% in on those kind of questions that it has no business doing. And unfortunately, it confuses the issue for people. I mean, the general answer is really just back off. You don't know what you're talking about. Humanity doesn't know what it's talking about. Back off. You just don't know what you're talking about. But religion goes there, and for the people that need a lifeline, a rescue from just all those bad answers, I want to provide a series that tackles some of that, and hopefully I'll do it well. So the chapter 1 of On Guard, I don't really have a lot to disagree with. He's just asking, what is apologetics? Why have a intellectual defense of Christianity? And for the most part, most of the things he says, I don't have anything to object to. He's just describing things from his perspective. The Peter 3:15 in the Bible, always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you a reason for the hope that you have, and do so with gentleness and respect. I mean, basic apologetic calling. I don't really have an objection to that, per se. I think that in all likelihood that defense is probably a lot more mystic and credulous and cultic than modern Christian apologists would take it as. But those sort of, I'm willing to sort of take it as, at face value in this context. You're called to make a defense. Okay, what's your defense? And some things he says, he says, ironically, if you have good arguments in support of your faith, you're less apt to be, quarrelsome or upset. And he says, I find that the better my arguments, the less argumentative that I am. I find the same thing. If I'm just calling it like it is, I kind of don't have a personal dog in the race. Like if I've done my job in philosophy, and, these sort of worldview debates, I don't have anything on the line. I'm just being honest. He says, if you have good reasons for what you believe and know the answers to the unbelievers' questions or objections, there's just no reason to get hot under the collar. Not necessarily untrue. And he talks about his experiences giving lectures and participating in debates around the world. So sometimes students in the audience get up during the Q&A period and attack him personally and go into abusive rants. Completely believe that happens. Talks about how, secularists are bent on eliminating religion from the public square. Totally true. 100% guilty. I want to do that properly. I want to, intellectually humiliate it out of the public square, like, engaging, so that anybody that's invested in it intellectually sees that their arguments have been heard, responded to, and disposed of properly. He talks about the threat of Christian culture being marginalized, portrayed as dangerous, as being, not wanting them to be in positions of influence in society. Completely agree. I mean, to me, I'm sorry, Christianity is a hate group, like just in terms of just certain issues, much less general ones, like their position on homosexuality. Like, you're a hate group. The KKK, against black people and minorities, whatever. Christianity against, homosexuals. Like, they don't want to deal with the fact that that's what they are. But yeah, largely that is what's happening. You're going to be marginalized as you're willing to believe that these perfectly ordinary people need to be discriminated against. And you can swear up and down it's just your beliefs, it's just your God, it's just your Bible, whatever. I'm sorry, society cares about people, like, more and more. It's not going to be tolerated. It says, just a lot of true, appropriate, understandable things, just culturally speaking, about the cultural influence of ideas. He says, a person who has been raised in a culture that is sympathetic to the Christian faith will be open to the gospel in a way that a person brought up in a secular culture will not. For a person who is thoroughly secularized, you may as well tell him to believe in fairies or leprechauns as in Jesus Christ. That's how absurd the message of Christ will seem to him. He's totally right. And I think that properly understood, the Christian message is on par with fairies and leprechauns. It's a much more popular, persuasive cultural movement, persuasive in that it's successful. But at the end of the day, it's proposing a whole bunch of supernatural things that there's just no evidence for. The success of a religious culture isn't good evidence. There's lots of successful religious cultures. The slight more success of Christianity than, say, Islam doesn't make its supernatural claims more true. Doesn't make, Islam's claims a little less true. The largest Christian denomination is Catholicism, and the largest Islam denomination is the Sunnis. And odds are the Sunni Islam is going to outpace Catholic Christian denomination. Does that make it more true? Was the Roman religions in the first century before Christianity got off to its start, was that more true? Was Zeus and Jupiter, Greek and Roman gods, were they more true because they had a stronger lead in popularity? No. People believe stupid things in mass. And religion's just exercise that. So anyway, I'm going to cap it off there and see how it goes, and maybe dive more into the book as time goes on. So stay tuned.